My name is Jane Lubchenco. I'm a marine biologist and environmental scientist by training. For most of my professional life, I have been in the academic world, teaching, doing research, and spending time doing things I love. For the last 3 years, I've been part of the Obama administration as the administrator of NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and Undersecretary of Commerce for Ocean. And so being able to differentiate correlation from causation was a powerful new advance that experiments allow to happen. And that led to many new breakthroughs in understanding the basic processes that determine how many plants or animals, how many different species, what kinds, live not only on rocky shores, but lots of other places all around the world. So it was a good model system to get in on the ground floor and use to give us basic information that applies for mountains, for valleys, for forests, for coral reefs, for kelp forests. So many different types of ecosystems we now know are affected by many of the same interactions between the physical conditions and the biological conditions, such as competitors or predators, that determine. And I began understanding that scientists have an obligation not only to teach their students and to discover new things about the world, but to share that information more broadly with a broader community of people, with lay people. And that was important. It was not typically encouraged by most universities or done by most scientists. And in fact, most scientists have a challenging time, shall I say, speaking about what they do in lay terms. When we teach graduate students to do research, we teach them the language of science. Very precise terms, which is lots of jargon, giving things the appropriate qualifications so you're not overstating something. So lots of jargon, lots of hedges, lots of caveats, and that's pretty impenetrable to most people. And I became convinced that we needed to teach graduate students and teach ourselves not only to speak the language of science, but be able to speak the language of lay people, to become bilingual. The evidence is overwhelming that climate change is taking place, and the consequences are likely to be very challenging for much of our society. I believe that it's imperative that we take this seriously and act to reduce greenhouse gas emissions as fast as we can. In parallel to that, even if we would stop all emissions today, which is clearly impossible, there would still be climate change continuing to happen for some time because of the lags in the climate system. And so in parallel to reducing emissions, we need to be preparing to adapt to climate change that is already happening and is going to continue for some time.